Hey you guys, today I'm showing you the best ways to record your instrument when you're ready to start making music. Alright, so there are so many ways that you can record your instrument, but some of them are better than others. Today, I'm going to be showing you 3 different ways to record your instrument. Let's get started with number 1. To record when I need to record into my phone, because it comes with attachments that you can plug into things, and there's one for a USB, and there's one for a lightning jack, so you can plug right into the newer iPhones that don't have the jack, and if you need, you can get specialty ones that plug into headphone jacks so that it can be a microphone. So on the iRig there's some great stuff. There's volume control. You can actually use it to do effects. There's an input and an output, so you can plug your instrument and an amp in so you can hear yourself while recording. Overall, it's absolutely amazing. So with using the iRig, I'll just show you a little bit of how you do it. So what you do is it comes with 2 wires. This one is the USB one. So you can use pretty much any program with it. If you're using one in the iPhone, you can use GarageBand. If you're using it on the computer, you can honestly use whatever. I know I use Audacity and Reaper. So it doesn't really matter what you use to record your audio, because you can record it in anything. I also use a website called Soundtrap, link in the description, so you guys can check everything out that I'm saying. So, overall, the iRig I think is the easiest choice, and honestly, one of the cheaper end options. I believe my iRig was approximately $100. But it's cheaper than what you could do. Let's get on to number 2. Alright, so my second recommendation is a little more on the expensive side and a little more on the technical side. You have to really know what you're doing, really know how tech works, and I'm just unplugging some stuff so you guys can see it. It is a mixer. So I use a very old mixer, which I will show you now. It is called the Radio Shack SSM100. It is from Radio Shack, so it's very old. But here you go. That's it. So it's a nice little mixer. There's a decent amount of channels, decent amount of stuff. You can do a lot with it, so I really like it. But overall, you may not think there's that much to do with it with a mixer, and you might think, oh, it's not that complicated, but it honestly is very complicated. So if you're using a mixer, you should have some experience with what you're doing, because it's difficult. So for me, my mixer has an EQ built into mic 1, so that an easy EQ for instruments, which is why I really like this one, because it has an easy bass and treble EQ on that, along with having a Hertz EQ up at the top that you can turn on or bypass it, which I also would recommend, and I'll give you some settings right now. My suggested EQ for you guys is to boost your high ends and your low ends. So your 16 kilohertz and your 60 hertz ends, if those are the numbers, whatever your highest and lowest are, those you boost, because when you're using your mixer for a microphone, you're going to want to boost those high ends of your voice and the low ends of your voice. Just makes it sound good. Then have your next mids, your general mids, your mid-high and your mid-low, kind of in the middle of that, like not as high as your highs and lows, but definitely not all the way down. And then your final middle one, if it's a 5-channel EQ, should just be staying at 0. So that's my general suggestion for EQ. Let's get on to how it works. Alright, so how this EQ works. And listen to me. It's not as easy as you think. What you're going to do is first you want to set that basic EQ if you have one and plug in your instrument. So my instrument's already plugged into mic 1. And then you have to learn how to adjust your volume and really just test it. So if I was to have Audacity open and be playing, you're really going to want to test it because you don't want to blow your speakers and you also want to have it loud enough. So for instruments like this, I suggest control your volume from your instrument, not from your mixer. So control your volume on your instrument as high as you would like it, but then don't mess with your mixer that much. Set your mixer to a basic area and customize from there. Definitely the easiest way to do it. And it's also, in my opinion, the better way. I don't know if I can really say better way, but better way of recording it rather than controlling your stuff from here, because distortion happens when you get too loud. And you don't really want that because that can hurt your soundboard inside your computer. So just be careful with that. Now on to method number 3. Alright, so I'm going to start by saying method number 3 is definitely not needed, and also most definitely the most expensive thing to go around doing. But depending on how you're recording, it might actually be the best way and easiest way to do it. So, the way number 3, as you saw in that titling, is using your mixer still, but not routing your instrument to your mixer. So this is really the best case if you are a person that has a mixer that only has XLR outputs. Now, what an XLR output is, if you don't know, is there are many different types of plugs and wires that you have. You have the standard headphone 3.5 millimeter. Then you have this, your standard instrument cable, which is a 1/4 inch. And then there's an XLR cable. An XLR cable is what plugs into the back of the microphone, and I have one right here so I can show you. It's this thing, the giant microphone cables. If you have a mixer that only has that, that's where this method comes in. So I'm just going to plug that back into my microphone. And so this method is where you plug your microphone into your mixer, and then you use a mic like this. This is a Shure SM57, and that's honestly my recommended mic to you. It's an older mic, but definitely still highly used today. You just set this in front of your amp, put it up, throw it on a stand. Stands are pretty cheap, like $20 or less. And these fit in any standard mic stand, so that's kind of great. You don't need any special heads or anything like that, and just throw it right in front of an amp and record. It's honestly really easy to do, but it is the most pricey, so depending on what you're looking at, might not be the best, but it is an incredibly easy thing to do. And especially if you got a cheaper mixer. A lot of cheaper mixers do only have XLRs. So, in that instance, it might be in the best of interest if you got like a $20 mixer off of Amazon and it only has an XLR to go and get that microphone that might be a little more expensive, but it'll end up being worth it. Alright, so in an analysis of all 3 ways, the way I think is best for a beginner, I would definitely say if you are a beginner that doesn't know what you're doing, go for the iRig. There's no EQ to set. The iRig does everything for you. Well, it doesn't really do anything for you, but in that sense, it does everything for you. And what I mean by that is there's nothing to do on the iRig. You plug it straight into the computer or into your phone and use GarageBand, and GarageBand EQs it all for you. So in that, it's kind of great. And it's really easy. It's just plug your guitar or bass or microphone. There are ones with XLR jacks, or you can get a microphone that's an XLR to a 1/4, whatever. You plug it in here. If you have an amplifier you want to hear it from, plug it in here. Otherwise, headphones go right in there, and you have a jack that plugs into a wire. So overall, that's it. If you're looking to record more than one instrument, or if you want to be singing and playing guitar, singing and playing bass, I say definitely go for the mixer, but just the mixer. You're gonna need a microphone anyways, and you may not even need that. You can use a simple microphone like this. Like, this is like a cheap, like, $20 karaoke mic I found, and picked up, and it's wireless. It has a wireless jack right here, headphones. So like it's nice and it's easy. So like honestly, if you want to do that, I say go with the mixer and get a wireless or even a wired mic, a ball head mic. They're great, and there's a lot of really pretty cheap ones that are pretty great out there. I mean, honestly, if you're recording a studio, that's when I'd say go for the little more expensive and get a mic. But most likely, you're not going to need that system. But it is out there. Like if you're filming for something that you really need that, then go right ahead. I'm not telling you not to do the microphone way. I'm just saying that it might be easier for you to go mixer or iRig. Alright, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more content just like this. And make sure you go, if you have any more questions, go join my Twitch and ask that. And hey, if you don't have any more questions, you should still check out my Twitch. Jump in the chat next time I'm there and say this in the chat. You listening to me? Come here. Come here. You guys gotta get close. Say bananas in the chat next time you're there, okay? Okay? You hear me? Good. Join Twitch, my Twitch chat, and say bananas in the chat, and I'll know you're there. Great. Perfect. Bananas. See you there.